hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for being here. Today is December 2nd, and I'm super excited that you all can be here. Today's monthly, well, not today's, but AC and Associates is going to be having a winter wisdom series. So we're having December daily dose. What does that mean? That means that every day for the month of December, I'm going to be popping on live throughout the day and speaking to you all about different things. So I'm super glad to see a couple people checking in. Let us know in the comments where you are, who you are. Say hello. We would love to um, interact and see you. I do appreciate you all being here. So thanks for showing up. I am going to, you can't see my face, but you can hear my voice. I am going to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about me and who I am. I'm just really glad that you all can be here. So, Hio Homi Takiape, Ava Cordova Machiape, Lakota and Taos Pueblo. My Thama is Joseph Conquilla Cordova. My Ina are my cause, Patricia Crow Cordova. I'm sixth generation from Chief Red Cloud. I'm the owner operator of AC and Associates, and I'm super excited that you all can join me. Thanks for checking in and being here for December's Daily Dose, a winter wisdom series. These can be it's going to be throughout the day, um, on different days, every day of the month, every day of December, I'll be jumping on. So just check out what time. I mean, if you have a certain time that you'd like to see it, let us know in the comments. So we are streaming on Facebook Live, um, YouTube Live, um, Twitch, and also LinkedIn. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started. Um, as these series continue, I've asked different people to hop on with me, and today's just going to be the most exciting day today. I have a very great friend, a very dear friend to my heart, and I'm going to bring her on. So, boo, 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 here we go. My bestest friend, straight from Hawaii. It is Jennifer Varenchek. Boo, boo, boo.
Aloha. Hi. I'm so happy
Hello.
that you're doing this.
I know. So the reason that I'm doing it is that I upgraded on a Cyber Monday impulse purchase, and um, I thought, now that I spent the money on this, I need to do something, make the money worth
Mhm.
it. So I thought to myself, hey, what are you gonna do, Self? What are you gonna do? Coming up with these crazy ideas. I've said I'm going to go live every day of the month of December, and just talk about different things. And it's going to be Winter Wisdom series. So you are my first guest. I'm super excited that you're here. And if anybody else wants to be guests, send me an email, or if you're jump on with us. It can be scary because you're talking to me, so don't let it be scary. You're talking to me. Um, but Jen, please introduce yourself.
All right. Skug Tosh. Ani Napshiguk, Jennifer Varenchek. Ani Tonatham. Hello, everybody. I am Jennifer Varenchek. I'm from the Tonatham Nation, and I am coming to you live from the illegally occupied Kingdom of Hawaii. I'm on the island of Oahu, which is not the island with the volcano that is erupting right now. And I am living in the city of Kaneohe in the neighborhood of Kahalu.
Thank you. Thank you for um, thank you for specifying the island because actually Vivian was very concerned about you. She was like, is she okay?" And I was like, "No, that's on the big island. She's on a different island." So thank you for clarifying that. But I do see Songtree checking in. You're so ambitious. I'm looking forward to the convo. So great. Thank you, sister, for saying that because as we prepared for this, in like 5 minutes, we have different questions that we'd like to ask. So should we get started with that, Jen?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, great. So our first question, is planning for 2023. It's December 2022. It's the second day in December, and 2023 is just around the corner. Next month, basically. And who knew that this year would go by so fast? Us coming out of COVID, we're still in it though. The rates are rising. And now with the flu season and RVS, or I think that's what it is, we got to remember, guys, to stay safe. I'm still wearing a mask. I mean, I encourage wearing a mask, but I'm not going to say, hey, I'm not going to be like a patrol person and say, hey, you got to. I'm doing it for my family and protecting me. So, I just wanted to throw that in there. But Jen, what do you have to say for plans of 2023?
I like this time of year because I can take stock in what I have accomplished. And a lot of times I don't during like towards the end of the year, I'm kind of get seasonal depression or just kind of like winter, like I don't know, ho hum. Even though I'm here in Hawaii and it's like tropical and the sun's out, it's 80 degrees, I still kind of get it. Seasonal depression. But one of the things that really helps me is planning because then I have something to look forward to. And for me, um, I know that this works for me, which is when I put together a plan, I sometimes like completely abandon it and forget I even put that plan together. But I guess subconsciously the plan is in my head and then I'll stumble upon the plan again like 3 or 4 months later and I will have somehow miraculously accomplished the things that were on my plan. Because I think a big part of it is brainstorming what is it that you want to do, how can you make those steps, like what are the tasks that you need to do to make that happen, and then commit it to paper and start taking action. And so for me, this next year 2023, my big project is to do my feature film for In Our Own Hands, which I've never done a feature before. I've done short films, but uh, I've started planning. I just kind of like took the scale of what I've done and just expanded it. And so you're catching me right now because I just came back from a meeting with one of the women that will be helping me. And I handed her this calendar, this printed calendar, which was one full year. It was from November to November of 2023. And every month there are things. Now, I don't know when like some of the things they might be in the wrong place, but like I'm just going off of like my instinct. And I think also when you're doing a big project, if anyone has plans for a really big project, I for me what is key is just accomplish the next thing. So for me, what is the next big thing? I have to put a table read together. So I'm not bogged down with like I'm making a movie. It's more of like what's the next task? I can put a table read together. That's the next thing. Then what comes after that? Which I don't know what that is yet, but I know what this is. So that's what I'm going to work on. So I think when it comes to planning, I encourage people to take time, sit down, relax, listen to your inner being, listen to your innermost heart, your innermost voice, and like, what is it that you want to do? And then go for it, you know? And I know that there are people out there like, I can't go for it. Have a 9 to 5 job or I have kids or whatever. I think that where there is the will inside of you, a way can be created,
Mm,
especially if you plan for it,
mm,
um, which means, committing it to paper. And it doesn't have to be handwritten, although that's my preference. I have a preference of writing because I like that connection of my brain to my hand to paper. But you could type it too, do what works for you. And if anything that I'm saying doesn't work for you, then cool, don't listen to me. I'm just sharing with you what has worked for me. And I think that's another thing is like when it comes to planning, check out a bunch of different ways because everybody has a different way. And what works for you, create your own way. That's one of the
mm.
things that I usually do is I, like, if I'm learning how to make a new recipe, I'll watch like 10 videos on the same thing and then kind of like combine them to make my own. So
Mm.
thank you for listening.
You're welcome. One of the things that I wanted to say, with regards to you say writing it down is one thing that I learned if you write it in blue pen, that it sticks to your brain more. I don't know, I don't remember where I heard that. So I've been writing in blue a lot. And yeah, writing things down. One of the things that you do every year that I love about you, um, is and that you've incorporated into a lot of your friends and stuff is making a dream board.
Mm.
And I know that for different youth that I've done workshops for, I've done dream board workshops. And I just wanted to say about that too. Like, what is a dream board? What do you put on it? What happens about it? So, the way that I explain it is, and I love that you are a magazine person. I know that you'll always have magazines and there'll be pictures in there. So, it's going through um, a magazine or drawing something on a piece of I usually go to like the Dollar Tree, which isn't a dollar anymore, dollar 25, or the 99-cent store and get a big cardboard poster board.
Mm-hmm.
And then just start putting what I want to happen in the year. So, like, say for instance, in 2019, I'm just going to use this as a scenario. 2019, I did a dream board. Some of the things that were on there was to get a new laptop, to get some mocks so I could rock my mocks in November, to go to Hawaii, to make sure that I get Christmas presents, um, because I'm totally a last minute shopper, and I forgot what else was the next one. But those 4 things that I just mentioned, except one, have already happened. I got a pair of mocks. I got also a laptop. It was a new to me laptop. It's a HP Pavilion and it's a gaming laptop. My family gifted it to me, my son-in-law. So it's not new, it's new to me though, and I love it. It has a lot more megs or whatever. It's, higher power than the simple laptop that I own, the other laptop. So now I have two laptops and this is my primary. The other one was to go to Hawaii, but then the pandemic hit. So, I'm so down and ready to go to Hawaii. And I always tell people, my best friend lives there. I'm going to go. But, there's a lot of things happening right now that I'm not able to go. But when I do go, and I've told this to like my daughter and everybody, is that I'm not going to just go for like a week. I'm not going to go for like 2 weeks. I'm really going to go for like 2 months or 3 months, maybe, and I know that people are be like, wow, you can do that. But I do a lot of online stuff. I do a lot of contracting with different organizations. I'm my own business. So, yes, can I do that? Yes, I can. And can I make it maybe a business trip and meet up with Ono? You can tell people what Ono is, or, see what's on the island and try to find just paradise there. So, yeah, but going back to because I saw in the comments, let's go to Hawaii, and I do plan to go, but it's not the time right now. But believe me, I will make it there.
I know you will. I'm waiting. We are very excited to have you when the time is right. And I think that's another thing is like when the time is right, you'll know. And we did, everybody had plans. Everybody had plans, but um, things happened. The pandemic happened, and it took away our plans. But um, I know in my heart that you're gonna make it here when you make it here, and it's gonna be great. So no rush. Although I do continually pressure you to get over here. I know that's only for my own selfish benefit. So
But then I also encourage you to come over here with work related issues. Talking
Mhm.
about the work related issues, um, I'm going to put this next topic that says traditions. Um, so when we were planning this and, we were writing the different questions that might be in there, Jen was like, well, what do you want people to walk away with? And I was like, well, when I first thought about this series, I thought about the different things that happen in winter. So that's why it's called the Winter Wisdom series. Is like back home, what is it in traditions that you do? I know some people like Navajos, I believe like they tell stories or songs or certain things in the winter. And why is that? Because we were in our homes, it was snowy outside, so what are your traditions? I'd really like to hear that. What are your traditions? Maybe in the comments if you like to put that. But the other thing, and why I'm bringing it up is traditions is um, recently in November, on November 23rd, I believe, we had a event and Jen was the co-host of it. And it was called Taking Care of the Caretakers. And it was a brunch and it was hosted by myself, AC and Associates, and Jen as the co-host, Native Muse Productions. Um, and the reason that I'm mentioning it is because I want to make it a tradition. I want to make it an annual thing. I know that if I know as a person that is like a party person or you're hosting a party, you're like, everything like from the food to the tableware to everything. And this is my first event as a small business. So I wanted I expected, my expectations were really high and I wanted everything perfect. And what I can say as I've processed it, and it's been like 2 weeks now, is that event, although it was hectic for me, was so freaking amazing. And the people and the community and the sponsors and the golden ticket donors, everybody came together in my community to support me and my event and to support you and whoever was on there. So it was yourself, Jennifer, it was Tina Calderon, it was Brian Friedro, it was a lot of other people that helped it, Nancy and
Lisa
Lisa
Smith,
Smith, and there was just a lot of great people there. Monique Castro and Martha, not Martha,
Margaret
um,
Sandoval.
yeah, Sandoval. Um, and it was just really great to see so many individuals. And before I move on to the next thing or have you talk, is it was very heartwarming to me to see somebody like Renee Williams or or Akua Jax from Akua, or Shotanali Sister Project, or Indigenous Circle of Wellness, or PACU, or all these organizations come to support it. And to get Renee Williams, she's like a director, and there was executive directors there. There was program owners. There were people that I don't necessarily see them like real higher than me. I just feel like what powerful people, indigenous people that came to support this small little event that we had. Although it was small and it was intimate and it was um, the way that it was just the right amount of people to get the healing that happened there. Because I saw some videos that Nancy sent me and I just started bawling. And here I'm worrying about the table centerpiece or, something small. And as I walk away from it, I got texts and emails and stuff that said I really needed that healing.
Mm,
So I really do want to say thank you to community for really supporting me and supporting us and coming to the event or buying a ticket or just really it was just great to be around community. And as I begin to go into community, um, it's a different feeling from being, isolated for so long. I'm still wearing my mask. I'm still, carrying around hand sanitizer. I have COVID in my trunk. If anybody, COVID, not COVID, the COVID, the testing kits, in my trunk. So if you need them, let me know, our masks. I just want to say keep yourself safe, guys, and continue to protect yourself so that we can protect our futures and our elders and our um, aunties, uncles, and our next generation. Thank
mm.
you. Did you want to say anything else?
Traditions. Well, traditionally we did the same thing. We would tonat them. Um, that was our storytelling time, around the fire type of thing. But I'm really interested to tell you, or not interested, but I'm really excited to tell you about traditions. I think that family traditions are great to have, especially during this time because it can be really hectic. And within, I have several traditions within my family. Um, I want to tell you about two of them. So the first is, when I was a child, my mom would make crepes. She would make chicken crepes, chicken mushroom crepes, and then she would also make strawberry crepes. And we would have that on Christmas. And our tradition was you wake up in the morning, you can open your stockings, and then we have our meal together as a family, and then you can open presents. And it, as a child, it was really, it was like, I want to open my presents now. But as an adult, I look back on that. And I'm like, I'm so grateful that like we had that because it's like, even though when I was a child and I would look at it and I'd be like, why do we have to have stupid crepes? And I want to open my presents now. And like, all those things, like I look back on it and it's something that I can see like throughout the years. And even after my parents got divorced, it was like it was something that I still wanted to either create for myself or I could look back at, with fond memories. Um, in my adult family now with Glenn and my grandson, a tradition that we have is we like to write a letter to ourselves, um, and then we open it up. Well, originally it was on Christmas. So it started out with just the four of us, me, Glenn, Tommy, and Gly. We would get together and we would, do our gift exchange and all that stuff. And then we would set time apart and we would write our letter. And then we would hold on to them and then come together the next year, read your letter, and then, start the process all over. Now that we're here, we, they keep their letters, we keep our letters. And I think this year they're coming in January. So I haven't run this by them yet. If they're listening, I want to know, are you guys okay if we do it in January? Because we're all going to be together, and that's kind of cool. And it's so interesting to read that letter because you don't have to read it out loud. I mean, you can if you want to. We usually like, everyone, it's silent. Everyone's reading their letter. And then like you hear laughter or you hear, oh, because you're, at least for me, I write like what I think is going to happen in the next year, what I want to accomplish. And there are some things where I'm like, I never got to do that. I still haven't done that yet, But then there's some things where I'm like, wow, I did that, I did it. So I think it's really cool if, as a family, just come up with your own traditions and then I think now as an adult and looking back on our traditions, it becomes like a really special place in your heart. And you can be anything like a letter, you
Mhm.
know? So I encourage people to create their own traditions, and it's never too late to do that. All
Mm.
you have to do is just keep doing it every year, whatever it is.
I'm glad that you said that, Jen, about creating one. And the reason that I say that is because a lot of people, I think, when you ask them what traditions that you had, or you know something like that, some people will say, well, we didn't have traditions, or you know I didn't like our stupid traditions or whatever. But you saying, like, it's never too late to make new traditions. It's never too late to also combine traditions, cultural traditions, or
Mhm.
things that used to be done in the old way. And as we move forward into the new way, put your own twist, your modern tradition, your modern twist on an older tradition. I mean, that might be bad or taking away from tradition, but make it something that it's your own, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree. Make it your own. And you don't necessarily have to share it with everybody. You know, what you do in your home is your business. So, make your own tradition. So,
Yeah. Well, as we're talking about traditions, what's and um, let's go on to the next question, which is holiday time with, and then I know that, Jen, this was your question. So, what's your holiday time with the next? I know you had said, go ahead.
um, yeah, family, and friends, and sometimes, um, well, with family, it can be stressful, because, um, usually with family, in my experience, they might have a particular view of you because you grew up around them and that's who they think that you are, but you're not that person anymore because you've changed as an adult, but they see you like that. And sometimes that can be frustrating, at least for me, it can be like, oh, Jennifer, she's, this. And I'm like, no, I'm not that. I'm not that anymore. But okay, if that's what you think. So sometimes when I'm around family, holidays or whenever, it's important for me to like take a step back, and if it's at a gathering, that might mean I have to go into the bathroom for a few minutes and just kind of like deep breathe. Or it might mean that I know that I have something that I've been really looking forward to watch lined up for me after this event, or if I'm at a particular location, if I know that I have something available, something that's going to lift my spirits, whatever that might be for anyone, maybe it's a walk. I truly enjoy when I go to visit my mom in Northern California, just having time to go on a walk through her neighborhood because I think it's really beautiful and I like to see the trees and just, I really enjoy that. And that allows me a moment to like decompress, and then I come back in and I'm renewed, and I feel like sometimes when the holidays come, it's very hectic, and you're trying to catch up because you haven't seen people for a long time and you just want to like cram it all in. And I encourage you to try to do that, but I also encourage you um to be mindful of your boundaries. I think that's another thing about it is that with family, boundaries can be very um I guess not respected, or you don't they're not hard because they're family, right? And that's great. That's wonderful. But if it doesn't work for you, then it can be not great and not wonderful. And I have learned for myself um what works for me and what doesn't. And one thing that works for me is to at least take a step back. And it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be long. You just go into the restroom like you're using the restroom, take 3 minutes, 2 minutes, deep breath, roll your head. Okay. And I know in my brain that I have something lined up that I can watch later that's going to help me just like, forget everything that just happened and then I'm okay. I'm like, okay. Or even it could be whatever it is that makes you happy. Like it could be like, oh, I got that cookie in my purse and I'll get to that cookie later, and I can look forward to that. What I don't know, whatever it is, but that's my what I want to say about holiday time with family, and it could be with friends too. Make sure you take that moment.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I haven't been in a setting in a minute with regards to holiday, having to go to a family's home that holds a lot of people. I think in the past couple of years, one of my things and the things that my family does is I go to Las Vegas to spend time with my grandson, my granddaughter, my daughter Jackie, and my son-in-law. And holiday time with them is amazing. I love it. I love my grandkids. I love that they always want to be next to me, that we play games, and I cherish that time because even when we go to bed, I rub their backs, and then when I'm not there, Jackie would be like, "They don't ask us to rub their backs. It's because you do it." And I was like, "I know, but I love that because as they grow up, they're not going to want to be like by my side, you know? They're not going to want to be like always with me. They're going to go off with their friends, they're going to be teenagers, but I just try to take in all of that love that they give me. Um, and the other thing that we do holiday time is we eat not a traditional meal. It's a traditional meal for us. My daughter makes the most amazing pho in an Instapot. She got the recipe from one of her friends, um, where that um, recipe originates from. So we all love pho, and that's what we do. When I was a little girl, we used to. So I always tell this to people. I'm a special occasion Catholic. And what does that mean? It means that my family only went to church on special occasions. Um, Christmas, Easter, and if we made it to Ash Wednesday. So Christmas time, um, when I was a little girl, we used to go to midnight mass, and then come home and we were able to open one present, and then we would go to sleep, and in the morning we would open our presents. But with and that's what we do still. We only allow them to open one present in the night at midnight, and then the next day they get to open the rest of the presents. But holiday time and stuff with families, yes, it can be stressful, but yes, it can. There's always those memories that we think of um, as we go through our lives. And also, it can be a hard time for people that don't have families, or that are struggling with grief, or that are struggling with something. The holiday times can be a really hard time for people, especially if they've lost somebody. But what I've liked to say is also those people that you spend those memories or have those memories with, or that you've made memories and they're no longer here, they're still in your heart. They're still a part of you. They make you who you are. So I went to a funeral today, and um, somebody said, "I'm not going to miss the person because they're in my heart and I have all the
Mm.
memories with them." And I I had the same surprisal face as that, but as I think about it as well, you know, if we let like all the misery of us missing a person, it's hard. Grief is hard. It brings tears. It brings the fact that you want them in your life. But if you flip it to think of what great memories I had with them, and how can I do that with my children? I'm saying, like, if it was your father, or if it was your brother, or how can I make the best of my memories with that person instead of it taking me into a deeper place.
Hmm.
Um, so that's all I have to say about that. the
Thank
end.
you for sharing.
I feel like when I said that, I felt like Forrest Gump. That's all I gotta say about that. But we could go on to our next questions, Jen.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So the next one is gifts.
Gifts, yeah. I brought this topic up because when I was younger, I would really stress out about this because of finances, because you have to, or that was my thought, is that you have to buy everybody something. And I mean, I'm not saying don't. What I'm saying is that to think outside of the box. And so for me personally, um, I am gifted or talented in the area of videos and video editing. So I'm considering making videos for everybody, like getting all the pictures that I have and like, just making them a little video. And even like I'm saying a little video, but like a 1 minute video, it takes like, I mean, if you anyone can throw something together, but like I know how I do it. I put in, graphics and music and like just getting the right clip and whatnot. It can take more than what people think. And
Yes.
then besides the fact that I'm like a perfectionist and I have to like, it's got to be right here. And like, anyways, when I'm cutting a clip. Um, so I just want to encourage people to like, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a capitalistic type of thing. It could be a poem, or just even a written acknowledgement of like your love and appreciation for that person. Um, it could be something that is important to you, but maybe like I know for me, I found this beaded purse that I haven't used in a long time, like a little beaded money
Coin purse?
pouch. Yeah, like a coin purse. And I was like, oh, I forgot about this. And then I was like, who would really love this? And then I was like, I know who I'm going to give it to for Christmas. So like, so yeah, like, things like that. I feel like if your intention and emotion is behind it,
Hmm.
then that person will feel it. And that's
Hmm.
what it's about, is you want to reconnect or strengthen already your bond through a gesture.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so of course I'm still going to be buying gifts, and of course I would love to receive gifts. Like, who doesn't? But I realize now that like the pressure, like I would just feel so like, oh my god, we have to spend how much on gifts because we got to get something for everybody. And I still want to get something for everybody, but some of those things may not be, as expensive as I originally thought. Like one person in my family, all he wants is these particular cookies that are very hard to recreate. And so I'm gonna make sure that he gets that. And I had to do a lot of research because you have to get ingredients that are in special tea stores, and also the recipe and all of this stuff. But like I'm putting it all together and sending it in a box. So and ultimately those two specialty ingredients, like they're not that expensive.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to encourage people to kind of like, think, okay, you want to buy this thing for a person, but is there something else that you could do that would make that person know that you were thinking of them?
Hmm. I like the fact of what you said with regards to gifts and it be coming from the heart. And the reason that I say that is because, as we think of gifts and question mark, I also think of gifting stuff when you gift stuff. So I went to um, CVS the other day, and I was wearing a ribbon skirt that was gifted to me. And I was going in there for laundry detergent. So I went up to the counter and the cashier who, you know, looked more washichu than anything, was like, "I love your ribbon skirt." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And she goes, "I used to have a beaded a beaded um bracelet. Not bracelet,
Barrette?
barrette, thank you. I used to have this beaded barrette and it was blue and um it matched my uniform at the time because I guess they had blue t-shirts or whatever. And she goes, and now we have red t-shirts, but I'm still looking for a barrette. She goes, I asked one of my friends if they knew where I can get a barrette from, and I haven't gotten any word. And we were just conversating and I didn't even get to ask her because there was a whole line behind us, you know. I didn't get to ask her what tribe she was from or um what her name was, or and usually I'm really good with names. When I go to a restaurant, when I go to cashiers, I always look at a name tag and I'll be like, "Hi James, hi June, hi Jen, whatever." And even if you do that, if you gift a cashier with saying their name, "Hello June," and because usually when you go through a cashier, they're just like, "Hi," and don't look up. But when you say their name, they look up and they're so surprised. And some people that work, are like, "How do you know my name?" Well, you have a name tag, but just using that as gifting. And also too, going back to the story about the CVS person, as I walked away, I knew I had a barrette in my car, a beaded barrette. It might not have been the red color that she wanted. It was just a beaded barrette. So I got it and I went back inside and they were helping somebody. I say both because another person had come up at the same time. So they were both helping somebody and I just stood there waiting. And then she opened up. So I went up to her and I said, I forgot to ask you, what's your name? And she said, I forgot what she said, maybe June or something. And I said, "Oh, it's nice to meet you." And she stuck out her hand and I had the bird in my hand and I just said, "This is for you. Thank you for being open during pandemic. Thank you for being a store clerk and making sure that we have what I need, laundry detergent. I really appreciate you." And I was like, "Have a good night, happy holidays," and I walked out. And I didn't wait for her to say thank you. Well, yeah, she said thank you. But I didn't want to converse. It was just the gift of it to her because she asked, or like earrings that we have, or whatever. Like, so going through your stuff, and I know it's gently used, but it is more of the thought about gifting, not um the $300 gifts that you need. Because I was also thinking about that too. Like, maybe I can do some baking projects with my grandkids, and then we can give that to whoever, like their friends, or so this is a good topic to be talking about.
Agreed. Yes.
So just looking at the comments, I see Sangtri who would say when you were talking about the topic before, yes, I was inspired by a community service event by Jordan Bennett Begay of ICT, and DC natives to write Christmas cards to elders and accept donations for them, especially since my son Cash is Mr. Aztec and is thinking of ways to serve. That's awesome. We also have 69mega.com saying fill life with emotions and find love. And then also Robin who said so good. So thank you
Robin.
all for commenting. Please feel free to continue to comment and we'll go on to our next question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So let's see. Budding,
Oh, I think that
tradition.
was it.
No, we had one more. And
Okay.
this is a big one. Self-care.
Self.
So self-care, what does that look like to you? It's been talked a lot about during pandemic. I know
Mhm.
it's been talked a lot about, but what does that look like to you? Self-care. What does it look like? Put it in the comments to tell us how you're taking care of yourself. Um, I love to drink hot tea. I love to drink if I go to Starbucks, I love to drink their medicine ball. Even when I'm not sick, I love to drink their medicine ball. Um, but one of the things that I wanted to say is that Starbucks can be expensive. and $7 a cup or $6 or $7 a cup is expensive. So my self-care and what I did was I went and bought the ingredients. So it's two different types of tea, some lemonade and some honey, and I make that at home, and that's my self-care.
Wow, that's so cool. I didn't know that you did that because I know that I also love that tea.
Mm.
Um, that's really really cool. I think self care starts with self exploration, like what makes you feel good and what doesn't make you feel good, and like acknowledging that. Um, so one thing for me that is important during this time, because it seems like it's more hectic and there's more pressure. In a way, it's kind of like an advent calendar, but it's not. Is I like to treat myself to my own homemade drinks also. Where we live now, it takes about 20 minutes to get to Starbucks and or just to the grocery store or whatever. So um, you know that phrase going to town, like that's like I save everything up so that I can hit all the stores at once for going to town. You know, I don't it's not like I drive into town and so so yeah, same thing. It's expensive and it's far. And by the time I get home, my drink is already halfway gone or it's cold, or it's melted if I get a cold drink and it's halfway gone. So, what I like to do is I have particular drinks that I drink during this time. I have like a sugar free hot cocoa. I have what is that called? Like this a drink mix that I got from Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. I think it's like cookie dough or cookie batter or something like that. But and then I've explored making my own champurrado,
Mm.
and this year when we were in New York, I learned how to make a peanut butter latte. Oh, and it's
Mm.
so good. And so I haven't perfected it yet, but like I'm learning how to make it every single one that I make. And it's like it's kind of like a lot of work. So I don't make it that often. But I all of these little drinks that I've mentioned, um when I take that first sip and I'm sipping on them, I get like a, you know, it hit a dopamine. I get joy. I feel good. And so I really carve out that time every week, probably like 3 days a week, to find time to make these special drinks. So it could be in the morning, and I start my day that way, or it could be after dinner at night, like I want to end my day that way. But I like to have those things because, like I said before, it's something that I can look forward to. It's like a little reward, you know,
Mhm.
and I like that.
Thank you. And Songtree says has made a comment, and I like to read it. I have COVID now, so putting rest is hard, knowing I have academic deadlines to meet. But if there's no Songtree, these things don't matter, and there are options. Communicating with my professors is key. Jen's statement on knowing, on knowing yourself and needs is powerful.
Yeah, thank you, Songtree. And I didn't know that you had COVID, so prayers to you. Hope that you have healing quickly. And thank goodness that you are able to communicate with us right now, and that it sounds like you're not in any like medical danger, like in the beginning of the pandemic. You know, when people got COVID, it was really, really scary. But yeah, I agree that um, when we're feeling overwhelmed or when we're feeling any kind of negative emotion, it's important to think like, well, how did I get here? You know, what happened to make me, what triggered me, you
Yeah.
know? And then now you know. So now you mitigate to avoid it. You know, don't do that or don't allow yourself to be put in that position. Um and that's all about knowing yourself.
Mhm. I wanted to also encourage people to continue self-care and to continue finding out what self-care means for you and making sure that you do take time for yourself. As Songtree said, if there's no you, um, then who's going to do it? We're so
Mhm.
worried about our work or we're so worried about um, different things. But when you need to take care of you, then you really need to take care of you. I know people, and that's another thing to talk about COVID. And I hope somebody does talk about the long term effects of COVID and how to move through that. And although, the test strip says that you're negative, there are long term effects that people have been reporting from
Mhm.
losing hair to having heart problems to, there's all these things. So I would encourage people to continue to get your booster shots
Yeah.
and continue to make sure, like I said at the beginning of the series, I mean, at the beginning of the show, is to um, wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, wear a mask. I know people don't like to do that, especially people that have to wear them all day long in a hospital or, you know, there's effects from wearing the mask too. You get more pimples, you get more, it's just taking care of yourself. Would you rather have pimples and all that or be sick in a hospital on a ventilator? I don't know. Those are just some things that I wanted to say. But thank you, Jen, so much for being here today. Thank you for helping me to complete my goal of a December daily dose. I know this is going to be hard. I haven't been posting as much as I used to or going live or anything. But this really is something that's taking me out of my comfort zone. And I appreciate you helping me um, to do that, to make another dream come true.
Yay! And I just had like two things to say about that. The first is I'm so proud of you that you're doing this. And if you remember when we talked to Connor Chi at the Phoenix Film Festival, um, he was saying how kind of like the formula for getting a lot of followers is you have to post 3 times a day and you have to go live once a day. So
Yes.
you're doing it, you know? I mean, I don't know about the posting 3 times a day, but like going live once a day, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be a huge influencer because already I can't do that. So, and that you're getting out of your comfort zone, and that I remember last year around this time, I met with Sarah and Emily Winnie, and from the Mafia Bead Gang, I think is what they're called, or is that what they're called, or
Mhm.
Beaded Mafia Gang? I'm not sure
Something.
what.
Yeah, I know it's something like that.
Yeah, I know Mafia is in there and Beads are in there. So I'm gonna say my apologies if I get it wrong, but Emily's stated that her goal is I want to have 10,000 followers by the end of this year
Mhm.
because this was in 2021. Well, she hit that goal, I think, like earlier this year, maybe in the summertime, and
Mm.
she continues to grow, and her business is thriving, and things are going. So it's really like, you say those things, you take your action, just like you, and like I don't know, the universe lines up and it helps you achieve your goal. I feel like the universe wants you to achieve your goal. You just
Mhm.
have to like walk towards it. And
Mhm.
if
Speak it
anything,
into existence too.
speaking it into existence. Yeah, she shared. She was vulnerable with us. She was like, I want 10,000 followers. Well, I don't know how many she has now, but I know it's over 10,000. And it didn't
Mhm.
even take a full year. It took less than a year for her to get there. So, um, kudos to her and kudos to you, April. You're doing it.
Thank
Yay!
you. Thank you very much. What would Jesus do?
He would be proud of you.
Thank you. I'm only saying that because of something was said earlier today, but thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all you viewers. Again, we'll be going live once a day, every day for the month of December. We're live on Facebook, on um, YouTube, on Twitch, and on LinkedIn. So thank you all. Did you want
I
to
was
say
just gonna
something?
give a shout out to people that I'll be hitting up. I haven't hit up yet, but to invite them to be on your live.
Mm.
Connor is one, so I don't know if he's seeing this, but if he is,
So
um,
you're shouting out people,
yes,
Connor.
Connor is one. Dr. Lene Lawrence is another. Jennifer Tucker is another. Might as well ask Emily and Sarah too, since I mentioned them. And I have other friends. Jennifer Leal, Vicky. Who else is on there? I don't know, but I have friends that would be great to introduce them and give them an opportunity to talk to people, and they have lots of wisdom too. So,
Mm.
but I'll be contacting them on your
Yeah,
behalf and sending them your way. And if they can do it, great. And if they can't, no worries. I'm sure
yeah.
you'll find other people too.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It's not going to be a certain time of the day every day because everybody has different schedules. So if you'd like to join, please send me an email at avracordova@gmail.com. Let me know what your schedule is. Let's talk about what we can be talking about. Me and Jen prepped for this and came up with those questions. So it can be something similar to what you do in your organization, in your life, or just provide us um, some insight. Everybody has wisdom. Everybody has something to say, and everybody needs to be heard. And how do we do that? We use our voices by vocally saying stuff. And I say that like with regards to goals, you need to vocally say them, tell them to different people, tell them to individuals. And if people aren't supporting you, then don't tell them and tell somebody that will. Such
Yeah.
as Jen. Like I can tell her like the brunch was just an idea that I had, and yet hear how it came to life. And this too, this was something that I was just like on a whim on Sunday night. I think it was. I was like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm really glad that it's happening. So thank you, Jen, again for being here. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate you. Have a great winter. Have a great holiday season, and we'll see you tomorrow for the next show. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Good night.
Mahalo.